So like many of you, I got to go see the new A24 movie, The Drama, this past weekend, and I took a lot away from this movie. But fortunately though, I think a lot of people are taking away the wrong things from this movie. A lot of people have been seeing the trailer and they've been waiting to see what Zendaya's character Emma has to say at the dinner scene. So inevitably, when they go see the movie, they see that dinner scene and immediately go, oh yeah, she's the villain. And I get it. What she admits is insane. There's really no way around that, right? It's uncomfortable, it's disturbing, and it completely shifts how you watch her the rest of the movie. But after sitting with it for a few days, I don't think that's what the movie is doing at all. If anything, I think it's kind of baiting you into that conclusion. Because to me, the real villain of this movie is Rachel. Now, before getting into that, you have to start with Emma. Because, again, what she says is crazy. She admits that when she was younger, she thought about doing something truly horrific, and the movie doesn't soften it. It doesn't try to justify it. It doesn't try to paint her in this positive light. She just kind of drops it in the middle of that dinner scene and lets it sit there. And for me, from that moment on, everything changes. The tone shifts, the energy in the room shifts, and the audience, including me and my girlfriend, looked at her differently. You start to question who she is, whether she's still that person, whether you can trust anything she says after that. So yeah, it's easy to label her as the problem. But the key thing is that she did not do it. And that matters. Not in a way that excuses the thought, because it doesn't, but in a way that defines her character. Emma is someone who had a dark, intrusive thought and did not act on it. And on top of that, she doesn't hide from it, and she's the one that brings it up in the middle of the dinner scene, and she's the one that puts it out there, knowing how people are going to react, knowing how her husband-to-be is going to react. And to me, that is something that is very important. And from what the movie shows us, she tries to move forward through these flashbacks. We see that she joins anti-gun groups, she tries to become a better person, and she clearly carries guilt around about what she did. And I think Zendaya's performance is fantastic in this aspect, because you can see it all over her face that she does absolutely feel remorse for what happened, but she wants to kind of move past this, right? Now, this does not make her a good person, but it does make her self-aware. It makes her somebody who is actually confronting something ugly about herself. Rachel, on the other hand, is the complete opposite. Because when Rachel shares her story at that same dinner, it hits differently for me. She talks about being a teacher for disabled kids and locking one of them in a closet, which is not a thought, it's not a what if, it's she actually did it. And when the kid's dad comes looking for him, she just walks past him and acts like nothing happened. That's not a moral gray area, that is an action. And what makes it worse is how she carries it. There's no weight to it. There's no sense that she's grown or even really feels bad about the whole situation. She just comes off very casual, like this is just another silly story. And from that point on, the way she moves throughout the movie tells you everything you need to know about her, because she doesn't try to understand Emma. She doesn't try to process what she heard. She just immediately jumps into judgment, and not quiet judgment at that. She just turns this into a social dynamic. She turns into gossiping about Emma and starts behind her back, and she carries herself like she's somehow above this whole situation, and that's what makes her feel like a bully. And I don't know about you, but I don't like bullies. The entire movie, she has this energy that feels straight out of high school, this like mean girls attitude. The look she gives Emma, the way she talks about her, the way she inserts herself into conversations, it all feels like someone who never really grew out of that mean girl mindset. And honestly, watching it, I had the same thought the whole time. Why is this person even here? She doesn't feel like a friend. She feels like someone who is there to judge, to stir things up, and to make herself feel better by putting someone else down. And the movie knows that. There's that scene where Charlie calls her out in front of her boyfriend, and it's easily one of the most important moments in the film. He basically says exactly what the audience is thinking. Quote unquote, you locked a disabled kid in a closet. Who are you to judge? Rachel has been operating like she's morally above Emma the entire time. She has this right to define who Emma is based off of one confession from 15 years ago. And this scene completely exposes her. It breaks that illusion, and I think that's where the movie really shows what it's about. This isn't a story about who did the worst thing. It's about how people react to the uncomfortable truth. The second Emma says what she says, everyone in the room stops seeing her as a person. They reduce her to just that one moment, that one thought, and that's all she becomes to them. Rachel is the most obvious example of that. She doesn't care about the context. She doesn't care about the growth. She doesn't care about who Emma is now. She cares about how that information makes her feel and what she can do with it socially. She turns it into power. She turns it into gossip, and she turns it into judgment. Emma, on the other hand, is the only one being honest, and that's the difference. Emma exposes something real about herself, and even though it makes her look horrible in the moment, Rachel hides behind her own story while acting like she's better than everybody else. One is confronting the truth, the other one is performing around it. Even Charlie, who people might see as the normal one, isn't perfect here. He tries to process it, he tries to understand his wife-to-be's perspective, but even he struggles. His reaction isn't clean or clear, and that's the point. No one in this movie handles the situation well, but Rachel is the only one who acts like she is handling it well, and that's why to me, she's the closest thing this movie has to a villain. Emma is clearly flawed, but anyone who thinks about something like that needs help. She didn't act on it, however, and she's trying to deal with it. Rachel, on the other hand, did something awful and moves through the world like she has the right to judge everyone else. And to me, that is worse, because at least Emma is honest, but Rachel isn't. And that's why I don't think Emma is the villain of the drama at all. And if anything, she's the one that exposes who everyone else really is. But those are just my thoughts on this film, guys. I love this movie. I did give it like a 4.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd, so my 3 followers on Letterboxd can enjoy that. But I really love this movie. Let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think about this take? What do you think about the movie in general? I want to hear all that and more, so I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.